Hello and welcome to the November 2013 Stage Directions Video Editor's Note. I'm Jacob Coakley, editor of Stage Directions magazine, and this past month has been all about the deadlines. I spent the past few weeks swimming in words, writing them, editing them, proofreading them. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I love my job and I'm very grateful to be doing what I'm doing, but I have been busy, as I mentioned in my printed ed note. I also mentioned in my printed ed note a quote from Bill Gates, who essentially advocates getting a lazy person to do a job because they'll figure out the quickest and most efficient way to get it done. I'm always looking for better and more efficient ways to do stuff, but not because I'm lazy. It's because I want to do more stuff. In addition to the whole industry that surrounds task management and project management, there's a history of blog posts dedicated to it as well. What tools do I use? What's in my bag? What's on my desk? Here's my process. So in that tradition, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the tools I use to stay on top of everything. If you have better ideas for tools or software I should be using, tell me. I spent about 30 minutes while I was writing this reading reviews of new task management software that's out there. Clearly, I can't get enough. Speaking of task management software, I use Things by Cultured Code. I used to be a Franklin Covey fanatic. Back in the day, I had their paper binder and totally bought into their system. Eventually, though, I had to make the leap to digital, and I found that Franklin Covey's official position on Macs was that they don't exist. So I searched around, and the best solution I found was Things. I like Things because I can customize it to follow the Franklin Covey most important things first philosophy. And the ease with which it lets me plan out long projects, separate out emails into separate tasks, create separate tasks in different categories, and even remind me of upcoming tasks is fantastic. Things also melds nicely with Apple's native Mail app. With Things, Inbox Zero is easy to get to. Task List Zero is another thing entirely, but that's as it should be. If you're using your email inbox as your to-do list, you're doing it wrong. And as I just mentioned, Apple's native Mail app is my favorite mail application. Now that it syncs with Exchange, there's no reason not to use it. For social media, I use Hootsuite. The app works great across all platforms. I can set up alerts and notifications how I want them, and I like the reporting I can get from them too. For note-taking and research, I rely on Evernote. I open up about 1 million tabs in Firefox or Chrome and then import them into Evernote using an extension. It's simple, it's fast, it works great. In the physical world, I use a Pilot G205 extra fine pen with black ink. Normally I just write on a legal pad on a clipboard, but if I'm out and about, I have a Moleskine Classic notebook that fits in a pocket. I have a pretty basic Olympus voice recorder I bought at Radio Shack a few years ago that I use to record interviews in person and on the phone. In a pinch, I'll use the voice recording app on my iPhone. I would love to be able to record phone calls that I make on the iPhone, so if anybody knows of an app that will let me do that, please let me know. To transcribe the recordings, I use a program called the Amazing Slowdowner. Yes, that's what it's really called, and that's what it really does. Apparently, I'm a pretty slow typer as I have to take conversations down to 60% speed most of the time. Oh, and in case you're wondering, for my script writing, it's Microsoft Words for notes and exploring a script, along with those legal pads I mentioned a while back, and then Final Draft when it's time to go to script. And those are pretty much my basic tools. What do you use? Let me know what tools are indispensable for your job. I always love hearing how people operate at peak efficiency. See you next month!